Hey guys, JCamman99 here, and it's once again time for the Buffalo Bills season prediction for 2019. For the most part, the rules are all the same. I'm going to reveal them really quick, and then we're going to go straight to it. If I say a game is a green game, that means I believe it's going to be 100% chance of victory. Blue game, 75% chance. Yellow game, 50%. Orange game, 25%. And red, 0. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. And I think you'll understand once we go through. If you have not watched my videos before, well, you'll learn as we go. So here we go. Week 1. Bills at the New York Jets in Jersey. So I have this as a yellow game because it is a divisional game, and I really do believe that one way or another we're going to split the season with the Jets. And the question is when we're going to split it. Based on Adam Gase's record the last couple seasons of tanking Week 17, you would almost want to skip ahead and say that we'll win that Jets game. However, I really actually believe we will win the Week 1 game. The Bills usually come out strong Week 1. We have a completely different offense, and teams aren't going to be ready for it. I think it's going to be a very, very close game, either high scoring or low scoring, which I realize it's usually one or the other when it comes to being a close game. Though I do believe that that's what it's going to be. I believe that the first game is going to be a Bills victory, and the Bills will start off the season 1-0. So moving on to Week 2, Bills versus the Giants, again in New Jersey. So here's the thing with the New York Giants that I think a lot of people forget. And I believe, so I'm going off my memory here, I believe we are 0-whatever against Eli Manning. We've never beaten Eli Manning since he's been the quarterback of the Giants. And unless there's an injury, I'm pretty sure he'll be starting Week 2. They're not going to bench him that soon. I know that Allen started Week 2 last year, but a little bit of a different circumstance there. I don't think Eli will do nearly that bad in Week 1 and get benched right away. So because of that, I think that despite the fact that the Giants essentially have no receivers, it's going to be a very low scoring, probably like a 9-6 game. And I just don't see us going into Jersey 2 weeks in a row and winning. So I actually have us losing that game, and at that point the Bills are 1-1. So Week 3 versus the Bengals at home, our home opener, similar story but different outcome. I believe we've never beaten Dalton. I think ever since Dalton's been the quarterback, the Bills have always lost to the Bengals. I think. Don't quote me on that. There might be one game I'm forgetting. However, this year I think it's going to change. I think not just the A.J. Green situation, but the fact that this is really the first time we're playing Dalton since he's been the hero, and I think, at that point the gloves are going to be off. And not to mention, we had to wait until Week 3 to get a home game. I think that's really the factor there. I think the Bills fans are going to bring it. It's going to be the middle of September, and we're just going to want to have a victory there. So I see us winning that game, and the Bills are going to be at 2-1 at that point. So then Week 4 versus the Patriots, we will lose that game. Week 5 at Tennessee. Now, the interesting thing about that game is I'm actually going to that game. And again, I'm marking this as an orange game because of our history with the Titans. With the exception of the last 2 games we've played them, we've pretty much lost the Titans for the last nearly 20 years. And I think that history is something to respect. And we're going to Tennessee this time. I believe the last 2 times we beat them was at home. No, actually, no. I take that back. I think a few years ago we actually went to Tennessee and won with Tyrod. And then we definitely won last year. On the last second field goal, very lucky we won that game. So I'm not going to underestimate the Titans. I don't think Vrabel's going to underestimate the Bills this time either. So I'm going to mark that as a loss. So at this point, the Bills are 2-3. Then after the bye, Week 7, Bills home at Miami. This is a yellow game because, again, I think we're going to split. And since we're home this time, I don't know if it's going to be Fitzpatrick or Rosen starting. It could easily be. I think they're going to want to mess around with Rosen, honestly. But regardless of who's starting, I think we'll win that game, and the Bills at that point will be 3-3. So then again, yeah, Eagles game the week later. You know what? I have this as a yellow game because of the home factor. If this was away or at a neutral location for whatever reason, London game or whatnot, I would definitely have the Eagles winning this. But because it's at home, I really could see us winning. I could really easily see the Eagles winning. I truthfully don't know. I don't think LaShawn is going to be as Eagles crazy as he was last time we played him, where he went and kissed the Eagle. Obviously, we're home, but I don't know, maybe he'll kiss the Buffalo this time. And that's really the only real story there in terms of the Bills-Eagles history line. But we don't have Fitzpatrick to force an offsides, so I don't know. I think it's going to be very close, but I think in the end, the Eagles will pull it off barely. So at this point, I have the Bills at 3-4. And then next week, against the Redskins, it's a green game. Yes, I actually believe we are going to win this game. The last 2 times we played the Redskins at home, 16 years ago, was against Patrick Ramsey and Rob Johnson, if everybody remembers that sack. And that was when Bruce Smith was still on the Redskins. And then 8 years ago in Canada against Johnny Beck. We beat them pretty good both times. So I'm fairly certain that that we're going to beat the Redskins. I know, and I think what's going to happen is that around that point in the season, they're going to start messing around with the quarterback situation. They're probably going to want to see what Haskins can do, unless Keenum is actually winning. So, I mean, it's really up to Keenum at this point what we're doing. Now, if Keenum's winning, it could be up in the air, then the Redskins might have a chance. They were 7-9 last year, I believe. So, I mean, it's not like the Redskins had a horrible season last year in terms of Bills standards. I mean, that was a pretty average season for the Redskins. But I have the Redskins doing horrible this year. I have them as a 4-12 team, quite honestly. So yep, I have the Bills winning this game, and we're going to be 4-4 at that point. So not doing too bad. And then we have a real test the following week against the Browns, because this is at Cleveland, and I think that's really once again determining what I think. And yeah, and I can't believe I'm marking a Cleveland game as an orange game, but I just, with all the new stuff they got going on and the fact that it's in Cleveland, I just have a rough feeling that the Browns are going to pull this one off, so I'm giving us a loss there. So at this point, we are 4-5. Okay, and then the following week, at Miami. Again, yellow game, but like I said before, I see us splitting with the Dolphins. So we won the first one. I think we'll go down to Miami. We're not going to like the heat. It's not the last week of the season, and I think we'll find a way to blow it. So I have us losing to Miami, and at that point, we are 4-6. So then the following week, on my birthday, we come back to play Denver. And Denver I have as a blue game. I have a good feeling about this game. Denver at Buffalo, I don't know how well they fare. They have to come across the country from the west. I mean, that is a long flight even from Denver. And honestly, I just have a good feeling about that game. I think last time Joe Flacco played in Buffalo with the Ravens, he did pretty bad. It's still a question of how he's going to acclimate to the team, or if they're going to start quarterback experimenting themselves, if they're going to go with their rookie. So we'll see what happens there with their quarterbacks. But I think at that point, after a few losses, we're going to get a rebound win there. And at that point, the Bills are going to be 5-6. Okay, woohoo! Thanksgiving. Buffalo versus Dallas on Thanksgiving Day. I'm so sorry to say it, but we're gonna lose. I have this as an orange. I don't think it's a red, but I don't see us going into Dallas on Thanksgiving and pulling it off just because of the rivalry, and I just can't imagine them blowing a Thanksgiving game. So, at least on the Bills. I mean, other teams like divisional rivals, I could see it going back and forth, but not against the Bills. So with that, I see us being 5-7 at that point. the following week, Baltimore comes to Buffalo. Now, I have this, believe it or not, as an orange game. I don't feel the Bills are going to win this one either. We lost, 47-3 last year to the Ravens, and then we come back the following year and actually win the game? I don't think so. I know we don't have Peterman anymore. However, I just don't see the turnaround happening that quickly. So, I don't know what else to say about it. Now, I know that Baltimore lost to us after the Super Bowl last time they came to Buffalo. However, I mean, that was a completely different team, and I don't know the entire history of the Ravens in Buffalo, but I know they've won before, so I wouldn't really put any stock on their history. That's not really a long history to go on. So, and who knows with Lamar Jackson? I don't think he's that good, but I could, but he won a lot of games last year, and you can't fault him for that. So there's something to it. I don't know what it is, but and hopefully we'll figure it out. I think there's a chance. Like, I really do think there's a decent chance we win this game. But I mean, the decent is 25%. I don't know why I'm thinking that way. I just am. So at that point, the Bills are 5-8. And then week 15, we travel to Pittsburgh. Not really sure the last time we beat Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh, but I know it's probably been a while. We only go there every 6 years or so. And I don't think Ben Roethlisberger's done yet. I don't think the Steelers are done yet. There's a lot of talk that, like, oh, the Steelers are done, blah, blah, blah. But there's a lot of craziness in the locker room. I don't think so. I think the Steelers are going to be just fine. I see them going to the AFC Championship this year and losing to the Patriots. So I don't... And plus, I think that at this point, the Bills are out of the playoff hunt. The Steelers are... They might still be trying to do something. They might be neck and neck with the Browns for all we know. Who knows? So the Steelers are going to have more to play for than the Bills are. So I see the Bills losing that game, and they're going to go to 5-9. Week 16, we're playing the Patriots, and we're going to lose that game. Finally, week 17, Bills versus Jets at home. Again, this goes back to what I said at the beginning of this video. I see them splitting. That's why it's a yellow game. And I could easily see us winning this game with the whole Adam Gase tanking at the end. But if we win that first game, like I think we're going to, we will lose the next game. I don't see us sweeping the Jets. So the Bills will end their season at 5-11. And I realize that's very disappointing for everybody. It's disappointing for me. I just saw the Bills play at their preseason game, and I thought Josh Allen looked pretty decent. Now, what can you judge preseason on? I mean, Peterman looked like Tom Brady last year in the preseason. So you can't really judge the preseason on too much. But Josh looked competent in the pocket, and I think that's a good thing. And that's really what the season comes down to. It comes down to two things. A, the schedule. I'm really looking at all these games and looking at each game individually, and I'm seeing the other team better in a lot of the situations. But the other part of it is Allen. Will Allen surpass my expectations of not being that good? Or will Allen continue his inaccurate ways and not being a competent passer in the pocket? We will see what happens either way. I do have one thing to end on that's actually good. The last time I predicted 5-11, the Bills made the playoffs. Yes, 2 years ago. But I predicted 5-11 that year. I thought they were going to be horrible that year, and look what happened. And I see a lot of good things happening. So it is possible. It's just Allen's, based on Allen right now, I have a lot of trouble seeing anything past 5-11. So hopefully I am wrong on this, and the Bills will do a lot better than I think. Hopefully, I mean, maybe they will sweep the Dolphins with their quarterback situation. If Adam Gase tanks the last season, you add on 2 wins there. Well, that's only 7-9, but we'll see. We'll see what happens, guys. I'm very curious to hear what you guys have to say. I know a lot more people are more optimistic than me, so if you are more optimistic, leave some comments. And in the comments, explain why you're more optimistic. Explain what games you think I got wrong and why I got them wrong. Because I would really love to hear some analysis as to why I'm wrong about the way I'm thinking about the games. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in to watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the page. And as always, go Bills. And as always, take care.